Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Mount & Blade Bannerlord and we're going to be going through the best bows and crossbows in the game. So if you're an archer or a crossbowman, because they're not the same thing, and you want to find out what the best weapon that you can get for that is, well, that's today's video. So I'm going to go through bows first and then crossbows. There's a number of factors that go into these rankings. For the bows, it's rated mostly about your damage and accuracy, and then after that your speed and missile speed. For your crossbows, it's going to be your damage, your speed, because reloading on crossbows is kind of important, your accuracy, and your missile speed. So they're weighted a little bit differently, but I find the ranking to be pretty accurate anyway. Plus it's forgiving because the gaps between weapons is actually decently high for most of these. So let's just get started with it. Again, I can't give you the exact locations of these weapons just because that's not a thing that exists in Bannerlord. If you want to find them, a lot of time it's going to take you a while to find one specific weapon, but I'll try my best to give you like general locations or factions to focus on if you're looking for any given weapon. So let's just start it off with number 10 for the best bows in the game. But as much as I want to start it off, I will just say beforehand, the projectiles you use are also quite important. Not as important as the weapon, but you know, pretty important if you want to be totally effective. And if you're being a full-on archer and you want more ammo, remember you can carry up to 3 quivers with your bow. You just then don't have a secondary weapon. I've done it though, and it can be pretty fun for roleplay perspective and make you treat your arrows or bolts very carefully. But with that in mind, if you want the best that you can get in the game, the best for crossbows is undisputed the heavy bolts. They give you that extra 5 pierce, which is excellent. As far as the stacks, there's no difference in the stacks, or at least no noticeable difference between the bolts. So if you're going to be a crossbowman, try to find yourself some heavy bolts and use them. As far as being a regular bowman, the best arrows, it's up for debate. So the best point for point are the piercing arrows because they give you 4 pierce for each arrow, but they only stack to 23 in that unless you have extra, you know, perks that give you extra arrows and stuff. But if you go for the stacked bodkin arrows, you only have 3 pierce, so you have 1 less pierce, but you have 32 arrows. So if you're going for lots and lots of arrows and you can get yourself 3 quivers of stacked bodkin arrows, you've got almost 100 arrows at your disposal then. So it's something to consider. 1 more point of damage for the piercing arrows, but almost 10 less arrows per quiver. Definitely something that I recommend keeping in mind. But with that all being said, at the number 10 spot for bows, we have the STEPPE recurve bow. And now for stats on this one, we have a weight of 0.3, so nice and light. It requires a bow skill of 30 to use this one. It is a tier 4 weapon with 89 speed, so decently fast. Damage of 62, so not bad. Accuracy of 94, nice and high. And a missile speed of 78. So all in all, the STEPPE recurve bow is excellent. You'll find a lot of your high tier archers in the game, especially mounted archers, actually use the STEPPE recurve bow. Even like high tier archers in the Azerite territory use the STEPPE recurve bow. It's a solid weapon. I definitely really enjoy it, and it's pretty easy to find. If you want to find the STEPPE recurve bow, you can find it all over the map because of how widely used it is, but obviously the area you're going to find it the most in is going to be the Khuzait territory to the east. So if you want to find this one, kill Khuzait armies or steppe bandits or try to buy it from shops over there. But with all that in mind, the STEPPE recurve bow takes the number 10 spot. At number 9 for bows, we have the NOMAD bow, and now this one is a longbow, so if you wanted to use it on horseback, you're going to need the skill Horsemaster, which is in the bow tree, which allows you to use any type of bow on horseback. I'm not an archer in this playthrough, so you can see I didn't focus on that, or at least I'm not a horse archer in this playthrough. I figured I would rather have the extra arrows in my quiver, but you can see, like I said, that the Horsemaster skill allows you to use any type of bow on horseback. So that's just something to consider. If you want to use the longbow type weapons on horseback, you have to have that skill. But that being said, for stats on this one, we have a weight of 0.5. It has a requirement of level 50 in bow to use this one. It's a tier 4 weapon with a speed of 89, damage of 70, accuracy of 91, and missile speed of 77. And so for number 8, we have another longbow, the TRIBESMAN bow. This one has a weight of 0.5 kilograms, has a requirement of 30 of bow skill to use this one. It's a tier 4 weapon with 89 speed, 70 damage, 94 accuracy, and 73 missile speed. The TRIBESMAN bow can again be kind of found all over the map. I most frequently find it in Botania and then Sturgia, but I've found it all over the place. So the TRIBESMAN bow again is pretty common, and it's actually a pretty solid weapon. It takes the number 8 spot overall. At number 7, we've got another longbow, the Woodland U-bow. This one weighs 0.5 kilograms, has a bow requirement of 50 to use, is a tier 4 weapon, has a speed of 91, damage of 73, accuracy of 92, and missile speed of 76. So pretty solid weapon overall. Most commonly, you can find this one in Botania or being used by Botanian troops, so so, you know, you fight them and you kill them and you might get it. But I've also found it in Vlandia and Sturgia. So the Woodland U-bow is, again, not very uncommon, but if you want to find it, aim towards Botania. Next up at number 6 for the bows, we have the Woodland Longbow, and I believe this is the bow used by the Botanian Fine Champions. I could easily check that, but I don't feel like it. So I guess correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, if you want to find this one, you're going to want to look in Botania because that is where it's most commonly found. So either fight Botanian armies or bandits or try to buy it from their shops. That's the best way to find the Woodland Longbow. Stats on this one, it only weighs 0.1 kilograms, so it's very light, has a bow requirement of 50 to use, is a tier 5 weapon, has a speed of 88, a damage of 76, accuracy of 94, and missile speed of 82. Next up at number 5, so our kind of right in the middle spot, we have the STEPPE Warbow. And so this is one that you can use on horseback from the very beginning as long as you've got a high enough bow skill to use it. The weight on this one is 0.3 kilograms. The requirement is 50, level 50 for bow to use this one. It is a tier 4 weapon with a speed of 89, a damage of 66, accuracy of 95, and missile speed of 80. At number 4, we once again have another longbow, and this one is the U-bow, so just the plain U-bow. This one by default can't be used on horseback, so you do need the Horsemaster skill if you want to use this one as a horse archer. Stats on this one, we have a weight of 0.5 kilograms. It has a bow level 50 requirement to use it. It's a tier 4 weapon with a speed of 90, damage of 69, accuracy of 94, and missile speed of 79. If you want to find this one, you can find it kind of all over the central and western area of the map. Most commonly, I find this one in Vlandian territory, but you can also find it in Botania, Sturgia, and the Empire. At number 3, we're getting into our top tier bows, and we have the Strong Tribesman bow. And now this is another one that can be kind of found all over the map, but most commonly I find this one in the Khuzait territory or the Aserai territory, and then 3rd Botania, and a distant 4th everything else. As far as the stats on this one go, it's got a weight of 0.3 kilograms. It has a bow requirement of 50 to use it. It's a tier 5 weapon, has a speed of 88, damage of 79, accuracy of 95, and missile speed of 86. At number 2, we have the absolute best longbow in the game, and probably my favorite overall, even though it's not the one I always use, because I model my bow to what style I'm playing. But this is another nice thick one too, so it's part of the reason I like it. But here we have the Noble Longbow. Again, by default, you can't use it on horseback, so you're going to need the Bowmaster if you want to use this one as a horse archer. But our stats are pretty good across the board. So we have a weight of 0.8 kilograms. It has a bow requirement of 70 to use this one. It's a tier 6 weapon with a speed of 91, 95 for the damage, 98 for the accuracy, and 85 for the missile speed. So super accurate bow, great damage, pretty dang fast. It's just across the board one of the best weapons overall in the game, and definitely one of the best bows. So the Noble Longbow takes the number 2 spot. And finally at number 1, we've got arguably the best bow in the game, or not arguably because stat-wise it just is the best. Just right up there with the Noble Longbow for my favorite, and it is the Noble Bow. So this one is a long recurve. It's not a horse bow, but even though it's not, it can be used on horseback starting off. But you can see that it's still got the greater length and everything of a regular longbow. So I really love the Noble Bow. It's an excellent weapon. It stat-wise is great. We have a weight of 0.8 kilograms. The requirement for using this one is bow level 70. It's a tier 6 weapon, 94 for the speed, 80 for the damage, 100 for the accuracy, and 90 for the missile speed. So it shoots really fast. You can shoot it fast, and the arrows shoot really fast, I should say. Nice high damage, so 80 for the damage is some of the best range damage you can do in this game. Accuracy is perfect. It's at 100, so you can't really beat that. I love the Noble Bow. Like I said, it's an excellent weapon, and you can use it on horseback right from the beginning. So that is all 10 of the best bows in the game. Like I said, depends on what style you're playing for what you choose, but if you can get your hands on the Noble Bow or the Noble Longbow, I recommend it because they're just ridiculously good weapons. But that's all for bows. Let's move on to crossbows. And so there are not as many crossbows in the game. There are only 8 that I could find, and so I will rank them accordingly. Oh, and I should have said with those last 2 bows, the Noble Longbow, if you want to find that, most frequently you'll find it in Botania, and the Noble Bow I've found kind of all over the place, mostly in the Khuzait territory, but I've also found it in Vlandia, the Empire, and the Aserai territory. Now we'll move on to crossbows. And for number 8 with the crossbows, we have the Simple Light Crossbow, which you can see on my back here. This one you can find all over the map, but most frequently in your areas that actually have crossbowmen, so the Empire and Vlandia, and that's kind of going to be the general rule for all of these crossbows. That being said, the Simple Light Crossbow, I would say, is more likely to find it in the Empire. So for stats on this one, it is 1.0 for the weight. It's a tier 3 weapon, speed of 70, damage of 67, accuracy of 80, missile speed of 60, and ammo limit of 1. So that means that you have 1 shot at a time. I don't know exactly why they include that, because all of the crossbows in this game have the same ammo limit, but whatever. The nice thing about the Simple Light Crossbow is without any special perks, you can reload it on horseback. horseback. So I will point out with the crossbows when you can't do that, and then you'll need a specific crossbow perk to do that. So yes, number 8 for crossbows is the simple light crossbow. Number 7 for crossbows is very similar to the first, and it's the sparring crossbow. And really, the interesting thing about this is, unlike most sparring weapons, this one doesn't do blunt damage because, I presume because you're firing a sharp bolt, not a sparring bolt out of it. But in any case, this one can also be reloaded on horseback right away. It can be found all over the map, but again, you're going to most frequently find it in Vlandia or the Empire. Stats on this one are 1.0 for the weight, it's a tier 4 weapon, speed of 62, damage of 75, accuracy of 95, and missile speed of 77. At number 6, we have the light crossbow, and this one, I kind of like the way it looks because it's got less of a polished, refined look. It just looks a little bit more primitive, and I like. So this one can again be found in the Empire or Vlandia. It has for stats a weight of 2.2, a requirement to use this of crossbow level 20. It's a tier 4 weapon with 75 speed, 77 damage, accuracy of 85, and missile speed of 65. And once again, it can be reloaded on horseback. So quite a good crossbow. You're starting to get into what I consider the better crossbows here, which is represented by the fact that you do need to be a certain level to use it. So that is number 6, the light. At number 5, we move up to the next logical step, the heavy crossbow, which ironically doesn't look as heavy duty as the light crossbow. But be that as it may, you can find this one again in the Empire or in Vlandian territory. As far as stats on this one go, well, just for starters, you cannot reload this one on horseback until you get the crossbow perk that allows you to do so. And that perk is the level 175 crossbow skill mounted crossbowman, which allows you to reload any crossbow on horseback. But yeah, outside of that, for our stats on the heavy crossbow, we have a weight of 2.7, crossbow requirement of 20 to use this one. It's a tier 4 weapon, speed of 61, damage of 82, accuracy of 96, so quite a bit more accurate than the previous ones, and a missile speed of 80. So pretty solid weapon, and like I said, a significant step up above the other crossbows that we've already looked at. So yeah, that's the heavy crossbow, which again takes the number 5 spot. Then at number 4, we have another one that's a nice thick chonky boy, so I like the way it looks, the fine light crossbow. And again, like all the crossbows, if you want to find it, check the Empire or check Vlandia. So the stats on this one can be reloaded from horseback, so that's good. It has a weight of 2.2, a crossbow requirement of 40 to use it. It's a tier 5 weapon with a speed of 80, damage of 85, accuracy of 90, missile speed of 70, and all in all, really solid weapon. At number 3 for crossbows, we have possibly the coolest looking one, because this one does look really cool and it's got the metal crossmember, so you know that it's well, at least a later design and slightly more advanced technology, but the ARBALEST. And so this one, unfortunately, by default cannot be reloaded on horseback, so you will need that skill that we talked about to do that. But outside of that, the stats are all pretty solid. Weight of 3.0, only requires level 20 to use this one for crossbow, so the ARBALEST is an excellent choice in that regard. It's a tier 5 weapon with a speed of 60, damage of 89, accuracy of 98, and missile speed of 87. So nice high damage, great accuracy, decent speed, all around really, really good weapon. So the ARBALEST takes the number 3 spot. Then at number 2 for crossbows, we have the HICKORY crossbow, which is the obviously second best crossbow in the game. This one I like because it's got the thick, chonky design. It just looks really cool. And the stats are excellent. So unfortunately, you can see the little horse icon there. So you cannot reload this one by default on horseback, so you will need the skill to do that. It weighs 2.2 kilograms, has a crossbow requirement of 40 to use this one. It's a tier 5 weapon with a speed of 62, damage of 93, accuracy of 99, and missile speed of 90. And so at number 1 for crossbows, we have just the best all around. For one thing, it looks awesome. Yes, it doesn't have the metal crossmember, but it's got this cool gold inlay. If you want to find this one, you can find it in the Empire, but much more frequently you'll find it in Vlandia, which makes sense considering the top tier Vlandian troops actually use this crossbow. And stat-wise, it is just the bee's knees. So like most of the good crossbows in this game, you cannot by default use it on horseback, or at least you can't reload it, so you can only shoot it the first time. So you're going to want that skill if you want to use a crossbow on horseback for some reason. Outside of that, the perks or the stats are great. So the weight for this one is 2.0. The requirement to use it is 70 for crossbow, so it is the highest crossbow requirement, but you know, not unattainable. It's pretty easy to get to that level. It's a tier 6 weapon, has a speed of 63, damage of 100, so excellent damage, accuracy of 100, so excellent there, and missile speed of 97. So like I said, if you want to get the best ranged weapons in the game overall, for crossbows it's going to be the bound crossbow, and for bows, if you're a horse riding person, the noble bow, and if you're a foot soldier, the noble longbow. But that's it. That's the whole spiel I've got today for bows and crossbows. That's all. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful, but we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.